Hello everybody, this is Backblast. Here I am again on Planet Zoo. Today we're going to be building one of these funky little buildings. They are themed around whatever the building sells. We've got ice creams, pizza, and of course a balloons. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to build the balloons one in the same style as these. And what we'll do is I'll probably come back and do another video on how to build one of the others, but I'll just give you the gist of what we're doing and how we're doing it. So let's just wander over to my little building area. We're going to be using this spot. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with whichever building we want to accommodate, really. So I think if you look through what you've got, if you imagine what you would put onto the roof or on the decoration of a building, if you've got something like a pip shot water, you're going to want to build like either something to do with water, like a bottle or a cup, or maybe even just a fountain that's got water coming out of it. Same with sort of smoothies. That might be a cup with different colours in it. A soda there, maybe something that looks as though it's fizzy. You could even build straws coming out of the top of a glass. Maybe those are a good idea. So it's the same with the food type stalls. Chief beef, so that's probably a large hamburger. The ice cream one I've already built. A large hot dog, easy peasy. That might be quite a fun one to build. We might do that in future. Mexcellente, that would be pretty good with maybe tacos or a burrito on the roof of it, or a large amount of frites maybe. But we're going to be doing today our merchandise, and we're going to be doing loony balloons. So hat's fantastic, a big hat on top, but we're going to be doing loony balloons. It's a nice easy one to show you, and it'll give you an idea of how to build on this yourself and what you might want to build in future. So we're just going to plonk it down, and the idea of this video is that you can either follow along or build it yourself and keep pausing the video. So we're going to be doing it fairly quick, and it won't take long at all. We're going to be using plaster walls. And I don't think this particular build uses any DLC, so we should be okay with that. So nice plaster wall, dead simple on the front, and then another plaster wall on the back, but don't put it right next to the building. We're going to put it a space out like that. We're going to now do some plaster wall curved, so these are just going to go on the edges here like this. And that's the basic shape of our building. Now what I've also done on my buildings is I've raised them up a little bit. So we've got an extra little bit on top. So we're going to do the same again with a 1 meter section. And it's the same with these, a 1 meter curve section on top. Nice and simple. We now need a roof. So again, it's the plaster ones. So these are just the square ones. And then what we're also going to do is use the quarter circles, so that goes in there, there, and there, and that's our building outline. Nice and easy. We're going to colour it to something that suits your building. So if it's an ice cream, it might want to be ice cream colours. Sort of, you could do sort of mint and chocolate chip, or even rum and raisin if you're feeling adventurous. But with a balloon stall, balloons tend to be quite brightly coloured. So what we're going to do is we're going to colour this in some nice bright colours. We're going to go maybe with a red for the base, with nice red balloons here. Now you can do each section individually, or you can just press Control and select all of these. And then we'll do the colour like that, boom, like that. And then the top, I think we'll do in a different colour. So maybe a yellow. And again, you can select them all. Press Control, keep it pressed. Oh, we've not selected that. We've selected that. And we're going to do all this roof in maybe a bright yellow, like that. Okay, it's going to be our balloon stall. Lovely. Right, what next? Well, on all of mine, I've put a front on them, and that's the fascia like that, and it's one of the New World ones. So I think actually I've done the Planet Zoo shop fascia. So it's nice and simple. It fits all of the windows, and I think it's not DLC, so that's good. I've got it in roughly the right spot. I'm going to press X, okay, and that now gives me all the little arrows, so I can now just straighten it up. So let's just get it to roughly that way, and then roughly that way, so when I can see the counter, that's about right. That's about right. If you want, you can sink it in a little bit, but yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. We're done. The beauty of this is it is flexi-color, so you can change the outer edge of this. So if you wanted to just make it a different color, you can do that. I'm going to make it yellow because that then blends in with the top there. So that's pretty good. And the other thing I've done is I've put a canopy. Is it a canopy? I've put a canopy on them. There we go. And I've used the same one for all of my shops. And it's the classic canopy. Again, I'm just going to press X so that I can line it up so it's nice and straight. And then decide how high or low I want it. If it's quite low to the window, that's okay. It gives us lots of room to put things there. It probably needs a little bit of gap. You don't want your customers coming and banging their head on the canopy. The beauty of this canopy is, it makes all the buildings look similar. So they're all the same shape. They've all got the same canopy on them. And I can, again, change the colour on this to match what we've got. So let's go with maybe a yellow and then a red motif. So I'm using the same colours as I've used for the rest of the building. And we've made it look quite pretty. There we go. But the big thing about these buildings is what's on the roof. It's what makes it look funky or different. So we're going to make our balloons now, and we're going to make a few of them. We're going to use these art shapes. So we're in the construction tab, in the art shapes. We're going to go and select rounded shapes to start off with. And we're going to make the bottom of the balloon. So let's have a primitive prolate. Okay, half. Now this, really small. And while you can build a nice balloon with that, it's not really what we're after. We want something that's got a bit of impact here. So let's look at the next one up. That's okay. That's looking better. What about the biggest? Let's use one of these. We can have this, and then we can have maybe some smaller ones. So we're going to use this. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press X, and then what we'll do is we're going to use angle snap. So it's in this bit. We're going to press angle snap. Okay, I'm not bothered about position snap and things. And then what we can do is if I press X again, or if I press this, we can now rotate this. So I want to turn it over. Boom, 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 boom. Right, and then what we want to do is we want to lift it up. So this is going to be our big balloon. This is going to be the big major balloon. It's going to go here. That'll be fine. I'll press OK for that. So that was the primitive prolate. We now need a top for this. So we want something that looks more like a circle or a semicircle. So we've got these here. Primitive hemisphere. So just find one that's the same size. And that's not quite big enough. That's big enough. There we are. And we're just going to plonk that on top so it looks like it's a balloon shape. Yeah. There you are. It looks like a balloon. So we'll OK that. We've now built our first balloon. Not sure I like the colour on it. It's a little bit dark. You want something bright, don't you? So let's... all I've done is click on it, press Control, keep it pressed, and then select the other side. And then we can change the colour to a nice bright red. Click Apply. Beautiful. What we're going to do now is let's make another one, but let's make it a little bit smaller. So let's go for maybe this middle one. So this is... Oh, actually, I've gone for the one next to it. I've gone for the one slightly larger. So again, just pick roughly where you want it. We're going to press X and X again. We're going to turn it over. Boom, 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 boom. So it's the right way up. And then again, we're just going to go up. So you don't want it at the same height. You want them different heights and different colours. And it'll just make it look a little bit more interesting. So we're going to do that. And then again with the hemispheres, we've got a primitive hemisphere of this size, I think. Yeah, there we are. Another little balloon. This one I'm going to make a nice bright yellow, I think. There we go. We want a green and a blue, don't we? So what I might do is, rather than doing them all again, let's click on it, Control, and click that. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to press Control and X. So what that does is it makes a copy that you can move around. So we're going to do that. I'm going to change the height slightly. Make sure it's over the top of my building, because that's important in a minute. And we're going to make this one, let's make this one the blue one. We have a nice light blue colour. Let's do that. And then what I'm going to do is, there's a little bit of a gap there, isn't there? Let's just press X and just scooch it down. There we are. There's no gaps in our balloons. Press X and just scooch it down a little bit. That's cool. Right. One more. So click to select, press Control, click the next bit, and then what we're going to do is Control and X. If you want, it's all up here. You can use this. I'll use that. There we go. And then we're going to move this, and this is going to go here in front of the red one, I think. In fact, it's going to go in front of everything like that. And I don't want it right next to the blue one at the same height as the blue one. Should we have it maybe lower? That looks better, doesn't it? That looks better. So we're going to use this one as the green one. So which green do we want? Maybe that one, maybe that one, that one, I think. Right, we've got 4 beautiful balloons on there. What we're going to do now is we're going to need something to fasten them onto the roof, because these are balloons that are trying to fly up into the air. What we're going to use is some rope. So let's go into here again. I'm going to select rope in all. There we are. And we've got down here Planet Zoo rope 4 meters straight. Okay, we're going to click that. Now this is just sort of, it's just around, and it's I can't decide if it's the right way up or anything. It's just there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click Align to Surface, and what that'll do is it's snapping it to the front of the building, so you can see that it's actually sitting on there. So I'm going to use that so I know that it's going to be lined up correctly. So I'm going to press X, and then we'll press X again, and we're going to just rotate it. So I know now that that's vertical. That's beautiful. It's beautifully vertical. So I'm going to use the other movement bits like this to make sure that it lines up with our balloon. So if we look at the balloon from the front, make sure that it's in the middle, and then if we go to the side, and then just make sure it's in the middle there, and that should be your balloon lined up pretty much perfectly with your rope. Now the rope isn't quite right because it's floating above the building. So let's just dip it into the building, and that is our first rope done. Our first balloon tethered to the building. I'm going to select that. I'm going to press the Control and X here, or Control and X on your keyboard, or whichever you have. We're just going to move it over so that we can put it under this yellow one. So I've got a little bit of rope underneath there that I can use. There we are. I've got a little bit extra. Right, so again, look from the front, line it up, look from the side, line it up, and that's our yellow one done. Easy peasy. So let's now copy that across again, and we're going to do the same with the blue one, like that. That's in the middle. It's in the middle there, pretty much. There we are. Red one's going to be a little bit more difficult because this isn't going to reach, is it? So let's just go and get it roughly in the right spot. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to click OK so that it thinks that I've built one, and then I'm going to build another one on top of it. So it doesn't have to be exactly right, but as long as it's overlapping, so we haven't got a gap, I'm going to click OK. And now what I'm going to do is I can click one of them, press Control, and you see now it doesn't work. It worked with these shapes, it doesn't work with the rope. I can't press Control and select the next. So what I can do instead is I can click I So I is this selection button down here. You can click the button if you wish, or you can press I. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to select one bit of rope and then keep the control pressed. It allows me to select the next one. So now I can move them both together. I can join them as one piece if I wanted. I think I will do that this time. And then what we do is we press X and we can just move it like before. So just get it lined up with the arrows. So the way to do it is get next to the arrow so that the arrow is pointing off to the right hand side, and then line it up with the balloon. Then go round to the next arrow, which is the red one. Make sure it's pointing off to the right hand side and do that, and you will now be lined up. That's lined up on your balloon. That's pretty much done. Okay, we now have 4 balloons, beautiful balloons straining towards the sky, which is great. However, won't the building take off? What we're going to do is we're going to get the building fastened to the ground. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go for some chain. Now we've got several chains here. There's classic multi-chain, which is a kind of curved short chain. Very nice for building little fences with. We've got a longer curved chain here, which we could use if we wanted. It sort of works okay. I'm just showing you. We need to rotate it to make it work. That sort of thing. I'm not sure I'm as keen on that. What we are going to use though is the 4 meter straight. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little way of building these, and then we'll put them on the building. So I'm going to pop this on the floor. There you go. I've built one. I'm then going to use the Control and X to build another one. Okay, and we're going to join these together so it looks as though it's one chain. So the bit where it joins up, you can't tell where that is now. So what I've done is I could do it like that. Like that. Yeah, they look as though they're linked together. Good. So I've got 2 now. We're going to do the same trick as before where we select both of them. So we're going to click this, or just press the button I, select them both, and then we're going to join them as one. Boom, that's that. If I then press the M key, it allows me to move this to wherever I want to go. So I'm just bringing it somewhere around roughly where we're going to place it, and it's going to be about here. I'm going to rotate it around with the Z just to line it up with the side of the building. So that's roughly where I want it. And then we're going to press X and then X again to get this approximately where we need it. And that's going to go up like this. I don't want it through there really, so let's just drop that out. Is that okay? That looks fine. There you go. We have a chain. Now, that looks all very well, but the thing with building buildings, and it not just these buildings, any of the buildings that you build within Planet Zoo or even Planet Coaster, I find the more detail you put in, the better they look. It's all those tiny little bits of detail that make it look a bit more authentic. So we're going to just add a few bits to this to make it look as though it's actually doing something decent. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go into construction and we're going to type brace. So what we're having here is the brace anchor plate. So that's going to go in there. Okay, so if I just put it at the side for now. And then we're also going to put an anchor thing on it. So that should just go straight on top. Like that. That looks pretty good. I can now do the little trick of joining these together. So press I, join these together. That's one piece now. If I then press X, we can slide this to roughly where we need it. Now it's up to you whether you want to rotate it around or move it backwards, forwards, whichever, but just try and get it so it looks as though the chain is attached to it or is roughly where it's going to do some good. So just bear with me. That's about right. I've got the chain going through the hoop there. It's not quite right. I'm not that happy with it. I just want to move it again. We just want to get it looking like that chain is going through it. So a little fiddle now and then never does any harm. Just mess about with it till you're happy. Right, what I'm going to do is, I think this is probably too long a chain. I'm going to cut this chain in half. So we're just going to go in, I'm going to edit it just so that I'm happy with it. And I'm just going to get rid of half of it. And then what I'm going to do is we're just going to duplicate a bit there. Does that look all right? Am I happy with that? Looks like it's super strengthened in the middle. I'm just fiddling with it, just making sure things look right so that I'm happy. Right, pretty good. I like that. I like it there. It seems to match there. I'm happy with that. So all I've done is I've just shortened the chain basically. It looks a bit strange in the middle, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I want to move it out a little bit because it's poking out over here. So we're going to use the little eye trick again. So we're going to press I. We're going to select everything. So we've got all the chain and all this block down here. We're going to make it all into one piece. And then we should just be able to move it all out and down like that. So it's hidden. We haven't got a bit of chain sticking out. But we've still got the plate on the floor. And we've got the chain, which is now going up to the building. Well, we might want to put something on here that makes it look as though it's actually joined onto something rather than just sinking into the concrete. So again, you could just put a brace on if you wanted. So let's see what that looks like. Not that great. That works. I'd be happy with that. I could work that. There we go. That looks like it's connected now. That looks like we've got something there. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select them all. Now, what's happened here is I've selected everything, but it's included the building. And I don't want the building connected. So let's just press Control, select the building. It removes it from that little group. So this is all that's selected now. We're now going to make that one piece. I'm going to do the little Control and X thing over there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spin it round. Boop, 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 boop. So that's exactly opposite where it is now. And then we're just going to slide it across to the other side of the building until it looks right, until you've got it in a place where you like it. For me, that's too far towards the back of the building. Let's move up towards the middle. I'm just going to rotate a little bit as well so that it seems to be coming directly out of the side rather than at a slight angle. And then just move it so that we're got everything showing up there. Like that, I think. That look good? That looks pretty good to me. That'll do. Lovely. Look at that. We've now got a building tethered to the ground with balloons straining to get it up into the air. But as I said, it's the little details. We need a few more details. So let's have a look at maybe putting an aircon unit on it. So we can put that on the back if we wished, or we could put it on the roof. For the other buildings, I've put them on the roof, and I just want to remain consistent throughout the builds for the other buildings. We're also going to put a few other little bits in, so maybe we put a door. So this is just going to be a staff door on the back, so the staff can come in and out. Now, they won't actually use this, but it just makes it look right. It just makes it look as though It's a real building. I've got a switch there, so let's have that about that height, and let's maybe have a light in here. So maybe a hanging light that goes above the door. Something like that. So that when they press the switch, the light comes on, they can see what's going on in the back of the building. What else do we need? Well, it's a loony balloons. So why don't we put some signs on it that say balloons? So build below there. This is the sign swing. Generally goes on the floor outside. I usually find it's better to place those once you've put your paths down. So once you've put your paths down, put that somewhere near to your paths, but not where people are going to trip over it. These are all different sizes. So this one's massive. We're going to put this up on the roof. Okay. So again, pop it on the roof. Let's press X. Press X again. I want the angle snap on for this. And then we're just going to spin it until it's facing a direction that I like. I quite like that. Let's pop it up here. And again, it's got little legs on this, so you can raise it above the ground a little bit, or above the top of the building a little bit. There you go. And that's now looking like it's a good spot. If you want, put another one on this side, or even you could have it facing forwards, or depending on which way your paths are coming from, you want it somewhere where people can sit. Down here we've got a sign like that, or we've got one like that. This one says Looney Balloons on it. I quite like that one, so we're going to pop that one on, and that is your basic building done. It's quite simple, quite quick to build. That's took me about 26 minutes and shouldn't take you much longer. If it's the first time you've done it, it might take a little bit longer just to mess about with a few things. But there you go. That's that. What I'll do in the next video is I'll show you a different build. So maybe the ice cream building or the pizza building, or even a new one. And I'll add some bits on. So maybe some bits around the back, or we'll put some signs and things on. But they're going to be fairly easy to do with arch shapes and things. If we wanted to make something that looked a bit like a balloon on the side of the building, you could easily maybe use these to make balloons on the side, and we could change the shapes there. So that will probably come in another video, but that's your loony balloons all done. The last thing you want to do is, I've pressed I, so it selects everything. We're going to select all of it, not the tree, and then we're just going to join it all together. And now that can be saved as a blueprint. Okay, save the item as a blueprint, and then what you've got is your blueprints down here at the bottom. If you click on that, it will then have all your shops in there. But there you go. Let's click on that, press M, and we can go and put this wherever we like. And you'll see it fits in perfectly with the other shops. Looks just right, and we can there you go. Looks beautiful with all the others. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Please leave comments. I want to know if you want me to build one of these two on video, or whether you want me to do something different, like a hot dog stand or something like that, or burger stand or whatever. Leave the comments. My name's Backblast. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you have a go yourselves and let me know how you get on. And maybe I'll come back and do another video. My name's Backblast. I'll catch you next time.